Audio test 1, 2, 3. This is the facilitator's mic. Audio test. Audio test. The table has been moved. Audio test. Good morning to our attendees who are joining us on the virtual platform. I do see a couple of hands raised. I am going to go ahead and ask you to unmute. Please identify yourself for the record and indicate which item you'd like to speak on. I'll record your information and call upon you when we reach your item. Good morning, Yvonne. Good morning, Georgina. Once again, this is TJ from the Board of Public Works, and I do see a couple of hands raised here on the virtual platform. If Yvonne would kindly unmute. Also, Georgina, I see your hand is raised. However, I don't have the ability to unmute you. If you can unmute yourself and provide audio input, or if you could, I know that in the past I have had the ability to unmute Georgina. Perhaps if you exited the meeting and then attempted to rejoin, I don't know if you're using perhaps a different device than you normally use. Perhaps if you exited and rejoined the meeting, that could address the issue. Yvonne, if you are able to unmute, if you would kindly unmute and provide audio input. At this point, I just want to see if anyone I want to verify that we do have audio input from our attendees who are joining us on the virtual platform, and I'm not able to do that. Good morning. Once again, this is TJ with the Board of Public Works. I am attempting to verify that we can receive audio input. Audit LA, I've asked you to unmute. Could you please provide audio input?
Good morning, TJ. Can you hear me?
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. I wanted to verify that we receive audio input. Good morning, Audit LA. Good morning, Audit LA. Would you like to offer public comment or?
Good morning, TJ. Yes, public comment and all agenda items, please.
Very well. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Yep.
And I have verified that we can receive audio, the board can receive audio input. Thank you so much, Audit LA. I'm going to go ahead and lower your hand. I do see a couple of other hands raised. Again, as I indicated before, Georgina, although your hand is raised, I don't have the option to unmute you. And I know that in the past, the board has been able to receive your audio input. So not sure if you're joining the meeting virtually with a different device than you normally join with, but perhaps if you exited the meeting on the device that you're using, and whether or not it is the same device as previous, If you could rejoin, perhaps that could address the issue because I'm not able to unmute you. Not sure if you can unmute yourself. I just wanted to let you know that. Yvonne, I do see your hand raised. If you would please unmute, you should be receiving a pop-up asking you to unmute. Identify yourself for the record, which item you'd like to speak on. And I don't see Yvonne unmuting. Okay, it is 9:42. We should get started with the meeting in approximately 18 minutes. I will make another call out in approximately 10 to 12 minutes to see if the other attendees with their hands raised would like to offer commentary. Thank you. Good morning once again to our attendees who are joining us here in the hearing room. Good morning to our board staff, our bureau representatives. I do not see our security guard yet. If there are any members of the public who wish to offer commentary on any of our items, please fill out a speaker card located in the back of the room, indicate which item you'd like to speak on, and hand it to me. I'll record your information for the record, and we'll call upon you when we reach your item. Good morning as well to our attendees who are joining us on the virtual platform. I do have Audit LA who has indicated that she wishes to offer commentary, general public comment, as well as multiple agenda item commentary. I do see a couple of additional hands raised. If you are joining on the virtual platform and would like to offer commentary, please raise your hand at this time. I will ask you to unmute and ask you to identify yourself for the record and which item you'd like to speak on. I'll start with Yvonne. I do see Yvonne's hand raised, however, I don't see Yvonne unmuting. I'm going to go ahead and lower your hand. I'll move next to Georgina McPhee. So Georgina, I don't think you are able to provide audio input on the device that you are on. I do see your hand raised. If I could make a friendly recommendation that you, or request that you exit the meeting and rejoin the meeting using the Zoom link on the board's agendas, perhaps that would resolve the issue. Or if you are joining on a device that you do not normally join on, if you could join on a device that you make sure that you have the ability to provide audio input. I'm going to go ahead and lower your hand. I don't have the ability to unmute you, Georgina. So again, if you could please try to rejoin, that would be awesome. Jill, good morning. I see your hand is raised.
General.
Thank you, Jill. I have you down for general public comment, and I'll call upon you when we reach that portion of the meeting.
To get out the door today. Hey.
And again, Georgina, I see that you have raised your hand. I don't have the ability to unmute you. Okay, now perhaps something happened and now I can't unmute you. Would you like to offer public comment this morning?
Yes, please, TJ. Sorry for the error.
No problem. I'm thankful that we were able to identify that issue. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and mute you and lower your hand. And so the only outstanding member of the public who have not been able to establish audio input on with audio input from is Yvonne. And I see Laura FM. Would you like to offer commentary this morning?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Is that general public comment or multiple?
Yes, just general public comment. Thank
Very
you.
well, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and put you back on mute and lower your hand. If there are any other members of the public, anyone additional to Audit LA, Georgina, Jill, and Laura, who wish to offer general public comment or multiple agenda item commentary, please raise your hand. And I will ask you to unmute and identify yourself for the record in which item you'd like to speak on. The time is 9:56. We should get started with the board meeting in approximately 4 minutes. Thank you. President King, we are now in record mode.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Public Works for Monday, September 8th, 2025. Mr. Knight, please take roll and establish quorum.
Thank you, President Kang. Good morning. Good morning, President Kang, Vice President Chavez, President Pro Tem Grant, Commissioner Mitchell, and Commissioner Cardenas are present. We have a quorum. We are joined this morning by City Attorney Representative Thomas Costello Vega. I'm Assistant Executive Officer TJ Knight. President Kang, we have 4 public commenters and 1 multiple item agenda commenter on the virtual platform, and we have no one here in the hearing room this morning. We have no neighborhood council commentary either.
Thank you very much. We will get started with general public comment, which is an opportunity for the public to address the board on public interest items and will be provided up to a minute per person, up to a cumulative total of 10 minutes for the general public comment segment of each regular meeting. Testimony shall be limited in content to subject matters which are within the jurisdiction of the Board of Public Works. The board may not take any action on any matters discussed during the public comment period. As stated, we do not have any in-person speaker cards, so we will transition to our virtual platform.
Thank you, President Kang. We'll go ahead and start with Audit LA, and this is the general public commentary portion, so you have 60 seconds to offer your commentary.
Good morning, everyone. I am here to speak about Scientology, and I am asking you in advance to please deny their Halloween and their Christmas permits. Not until they can prove that they are paying their people the fair wages that they're supposed to be getting for working on permitted projects and working on the street. Also, when they need to finally have the fire lane open, which they never do. They also never post anything the way they're supposed to. They're also supposed to keep the sidewalks open, and now they keep maybe one open, but not both. So until I have never one time seen them obey any permit. And even with inspections, even on their property, they have not gotten what needed inspected recently. I have checked. So they can't just keep not abiding by the permit terms and keep expecting to get them. There has to be a time
you.
when we say, you know what, no.
Thank you, Audit LA. That's 60 seconds. We'll move next to Georgina. Go ahead.
Hi, thank you. I'm calling because of the excessive permits on L. Ron Hubbard Way and them stealing that street and not having it open to the public. It should be open for public parking. By blocking off that street to public parking and then potentially wanting to close that street continuously, you're blocking the only avenue of escape that the Sea Org, so-called Sea Org, that is actually their human trafficking slave labor. That's their only opportunity to reach public, to reach safety, to escape. And if you block that road off, you're closing off their only avenue of escape. I urge you to please Google Maureen Ballstad and hear her story. When she escaped, she was kidnapped back. She had to work 3 years under 24-hour guard in a labor camp before she was finally able to escape again. Please don't block off their only avenue of escape. Thank you. I yield back.
And we'll move next to Jill.
I'm going to reiterate what Audit said and Georgina said. It's time to say no to Scientology cult permits. They can't get away with what they're getting away with. There's so many problems on that street, and the slave labor and people working for $47 a week. For 110 hours a week, they're only getting $47, and you're allowing this to occur and the continued trafficking. I thought we were busting cults. It's time to stop the enabling of cults and using slave labor to just totally accelerate their hold on your city and their hold on you. What do they have on you that you keep permitting them these permits that are a violation of human rights? Bye.
We will move next to Lara FM. Go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. You have 60 seconds.
Thank you, TJ. Okay, so yes, we're going to go back on this. I've been protesting every day, filming the streets and the people on public, the people meaning Sea Org members of Scientology who get paid $47 a week. I was there yesterday, pretty much at different times of the day, and on film I have them, and I will send all these links. I have a bunch of links that I'm sending to Mr. President Kang, just so that you can really see this is happening on a daily basis. The permits, like for them to be working and doing all this work on the city streets in public, and when I was filming them, they ran away. They ran off while I was filming them, ordered by the security guard. So I want that all sent. I'm going to send that all to Mr. Kang and everybody so that you can see this is happening on a daily basis. Please revoke their L. Ron Hubbard naming of their L. Ron Hubbard Way. We don't want that. And also, please revoke this peace meeting they're having September 24th on their property. Again, it's another city manipulative recruiting tactic, but please stop them from working on the
Thank you.
city public.
That's 60 seconds. And although that President King, that concludes the attendees who previously indicated that they wish to offer public comment, there is an additional hand raised at this time.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Thank you. Yvonne, would you like to offer public commentary this morning?
I would, and I would like to also be added to the multiple comments.
Very well. This is the public comment portion. Go ahead. You have 60 seconds.
Thank you. I would like the board to put on the agenda and or handle administratively the revocation of the revocable permit, allowing Scientology to maintain L. Ron Hubbard Way. They are in violation of that permit in many ways, and it is putting the city at great risk for financial loss or obligations due to those failures. That's my general comment for today. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And that, President King, that does conclude public comment for today.
Thank you very much. With that, we will close the general public comment portion of today's meeting and move on to multiple agenda item public comment. The board will provide an opportunity for members of the public wishing to speak on more than one agenda item during multiple agenda item comment period for up to a minute per item, up to a total of 3 minutes per meeting. This is the only time to speak on more than one agenda item, and please identify the items that you will speak on when you are called. And for all of our virtual speakers, we do not have minutes for today's approval, so there are no minutes for you to speak on, but feel free to tell us which other items that you would like to speak about. And with that, we will transition to our virtual platform.
Thank you, President Kang. We'll go ahead and start with Audit LA. Audit LA, please identify which item you're speaking on.
2, 3, and 4, please.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Number 2, when it comes to Hollywood Street, the naming of the streets, I understand that the stars, Walk of Fame is something that's really important to LA, and I get it, but I've been of a mindset that we need to kind of transition from the hero worship of people who their only claim to fame is that, they make movies, they sing, they do TV, whatever. It's not really hero worship, because especially when you think of somebody like Tom Cruise, and yes, he's adored, he's this hero, you give him a star, but this is a person who chose to reject his own child and not be a father to his own child to embrace Scientology. This is a man who not only deny, like, doesn't embrace his child, but who uses slave labor. Do you know that he is surrounded by people who get slave wages, and they pamper him and they take care of every need? He only has Sea Org members working on his behalf. That's it. And these people are getting paid slave wages. What star is, like, how do they get away with that? He has so much money, and he should be able to, if Scientology won't pay these people, he has enough money to make sure they get a fair wage. But he's going along with that system. Okay, and we're giving him a star. So I think we need to change how we look at heroes. Okay, I think a hero is people who, what about the people who go in and break up cults and find these missing kids, and firefighters who run into burning buildings, or any kind of first responders, or people, you know pilots who were able to manage to land a plane without it crashing and burning, whatever. There's so many other people who are heroes that we don't need to keep giving it to these actors. And it's not like I hate actors or I hate, going to the movies. It's just, I think we need to stop the idol worship of them and realize that they don't define what a hero is. And we should start looking for other heroes. I'd like to see some real life people, real life heroes on our sidewalks. Second, when it comes to number 3, here we go. It's a $3 million increase. And I've been saying this for a long time. And I do appreciate, because I do hear, like the past couple meetings, asking more deep questions of the people coming asking for more money. Like, I know Vice President Chavez asked, why are you coming now? Why didn't you know this stuff, what you needed prior? What is that? And you were asking, she asked that. And I was very grateful.
Thank
I was
you.
like,
That's 3 minutes.
that's 3 minutes?
And we'll move next to Yvonne. Yvonne, go ahead.
Yes, thank you. Items 1, 2, and not 2. Anyway, the items related to the price increases. I am again concerned about the differential between the first number that they estimated and the price that they are now asking for or are planning. The budgetary considerations are phenomenal in these changes, doubling the cost of a estimate. It is outrageous, just simply outrageous. And that is a flaw within your internal administration. The estimate of engineering or whoever is doing these initial assessments is administrative malpractice. They're leading you down a path of being incapable of controlling your own budgets. Planning is extremely important. Budgeting is extremely important. And you being the top level management, really, they're putting you in an extremely bad place. And that reflects on the city, that reflects on the mayor. Your administrative prowess needs to get this under control. The item by item, if necessary, you need to sharpen more pencils. That'll be it for today. I wish you well on this. This is an extremely important feature for the city to get a grip on. You lose credibility when your budgets happen like this. Thank you.
And President King, that concludes multiple agenda item commentary this morning.
Thank you very much. With that, we will close the multiple item public comment portion of today's meeting and move forward with our agenda items. For item number 1, for Council District 4 and 13, we have an MOU between the Department of Public Works Bureau of Engineering and the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power.
Thank you, President Kang. Commissioners, city representatives, distinguished guests, good morning. My name is Janelle Para, Property Manager of Bureau of Engineering. And I'm here to present on this item number 1 regarding the execution of a memorandum of understanding between Public Works, Bureau of Engineering, and the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power for the Glendale Hyperion Complex of Bridges project. I wanted to give you a brief background about this. The Glendale Hyperion Bridge project involves the seismic retrofitting and rehabilitation of the Glendale Boulevard Hyperion Avenue Viaduct Complex. The viaduct complex, completed in 1926, spans the Los Angeles River, I-105, and the Riverside Drive. The project will include widening of the bridges and streamlining the approach roadway, upgrading various elements of to meet the infrastructure standards, realigning the I-5 northbound off-ramp, adding a bicycle and pedestrian ramp access, creating an infiltration basin to protect the water quality of the river, and adding a bike lane to each side of the Hyperion Avenue. All this while preserving the historical elements of the bridge, such as railings, pylons, refurbishing existing light posts. The estimated construction cost of this is $230 million. The project requires the use of real estate underneath the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power's properties jurisdiction, and hence the need for this memorandum of understanding. I wanted to provide you key detail information about the MOU. The MOU is a non-monetary agreement between two departments. It grants the Bureau of Engineering permission to use specific areas within LADWP's property along the Atwater to Cemetery Junction transmission line right-of-way number 5B. The permission is for the purpose of constructing, operating, and maintaining public street, highway, drainage, bridge, and related improvements. The term of this MOU is 5 years, and commencing upon the approval of the Board of Water and Power Commissioners. The Bureau of Engineering is responsible for the operation, upkeep, repair, security, maintenance of the premises, and project improvements during the MOU's term. The Bureau of Engineering acknowledges that LADWP's right to use the premises is superior, and that the BOE's use will not interfere with LADWP's purposes. The Bureau of Engineering recommends that the board approves the execution of this MOU and authorize the president of the board or two members of the board to sign the memorandum of understanding. With me today is the project manager, Andrew Ashford, senior civil engineer for Bureau of Engineering. In case you have any questions, that concludes my presentation for today.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, any questions or comments related to this MOU? Commissioner Cardenas.
Yes, thank you. Just a question. I don't know if it was listed in your report. What's the duration, the start and proposed end date for this bridge project?
So, good morning, Andrew Ashford, Senior Civil Engineer with the Bridge Program Bureau of Engineering. So, we're in the process of awarding the bridge project. We're just finalizing the federal agreement for the grant amount. So, we're expecting the grant to be executed, October or November of this year, and we're projecting 5 years for the construction duration.
So 5 years construction.
Yes, correct.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions or comments from the board? All right, seeing none, is there a first and a second?
First. Second.
All right, first by Commissioner Cardenas, seconded by President Pro Tem Grant.
Very well. We'll go ahead and take a roll call vote on approval of item 1, starting with you, President Kane.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell. And Commissioner Cardenas.
Aye.
All ayes. Item 1 is approved, and we'll move forward.
Commissioners.
Thank you very much. Moving on to item number 2 for Council District 13, request for acceptance, proposed names for the Hollywood Walk of Fame up to 2025.
Good morning, Commissioners. Christine Sotelo from Bureau of Engineering, Central District Office. I'm here today to ask for the board to accept the proposed names for the Hollywood Walk of Fame up to 2025. Previously, the City Council used to be the entity that approved the names or accepted the names. We are currently amending our process because City Council has removed themselves from the process in the municipal code to approve any names to be placed in the public right-of-way. So therefore, at this point, because the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce is the entity that nominates the names for the Hollywood Walk of Fame, we are simply asking the Board of Public Works to go ahead and accept the proposed names, and that we would then be directed to issue an A permit for the installation of said names. The Hollywood Chamber of Commerce has been the entity that has taken care of the stars for about 60 years, so we're just trying to honor that entire process. I have listed in the transmittals the last 4 years of meeting minutes, and I'm asking that the board also accept all of the names prior to that as well. The Chamber of Commerce will be required to provide the meeting minutes to the Central District Office prior to obtaining an A permit for the installation of the stars. I'm here for any questions that you may have.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, any questions or comments related to this item? Vice President Chavez.
Yes, wanted to thank the Bureau for all your work on this. And I also wanted to thank the Chamber, Hollywood Chamber, and representatives are here for your patience as we have devised a new process that hopefully in the future will be more expeditious and efficient. So thank you for your partnership and working with us. We recognize the importance of the Walk of Fame. It's unique in the world, and it still continues to draw visitors from around the world to Los Angeles. It is emblematic of Hollywood and the city of LA, even still, since its inception. I think it's been around since the 50s and 60s, right? So anyway, thank you for that, and just wanted to express my support for the new process. And my understanding is we're going to get these on a yearly basis, correct? The
That is
acceptance?
correct. Every year, once the meeting minutes have been published by the Hollywood Chamber, we would go ahead and proceed to the Board of Public Works to accept those names as well.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And for clarity for the general public, just to clear up any misunderstanding, the board, we are not proposing new names. We are accepting these names. And also this is in partnership, as Vice President Chavez mentioned, with the Hollywood Chamber. So if you want to just clarify that portion, which we've been getting a lot of questions from the public.
That is absolutely correct. We will not be reviewing the names. We're simply relying on the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce to nominate the individuals and to administer the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Thank you for that clarification. Any other questions or comments from the board? All right, seeing none, is there a first and a second?
So moved.
Second?
First by Vice President Chavez, seconded by Commissioner Cardenas.
Thank you, President Kang. We'll go ahead and take a roll call vote on approval of item 2, starting with you, President Kang.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell. And Commissioner Cardenas.
Aye.
All ayes. Item 2 is adopted and will move forward forthwith.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Moving on to item number 3 for Council Districts 2, 6, and 7, revised the task for solicitation number 25.1 and 25.2 and 25.3.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Eduardo Hernandez. I am with the Bureau of Engineering Clean Water Division. BOE is here today to request that the board authorize a revision to task order solicitation number 25 to Tetra Tech, CD & Smith, and Carollo Engineers for pre-design and design services for the DWP Stormwater Capture Parks program by adding bid and award support and design support services during construction, and increasing the budget authority by $10,792,349 from $13,026,558 to $23,818,907, as detailed in the report. A little background on this program. Back in January of 2019, this board authorized BOE to enter into a memorandum of agreement with the Department of Water and Power, in which 19.1 million of funding was authorized for the Bureau of Engineering to lead the pre-design and design of the program, which consists of 9 stormwater capture parks projects in the eastern San Fernando Valley in Council Districts 2, 6, and 7. In the same year, December of 2019, the board awarded task order solicitation number 25 to Tetra Tech for 5.6 million, CDM Smith for 4 million, and to Carollo Engineers for 2.3 million, for a total of 11.9 million, approximately 11.9 million for the pre-design and design services. And then in August of 2023, the board authorized the latest revision to task order solicitation number 25 to increase the budget authority by $610,706 from 12.4 million to 13 million for additional pre-design and design services. And then in December of 2024, the board authorized BOE to execute a memorandum of agreement between BOE, Department of Water and Power, and the Los Angeles Department of Recreation and Parks, in which 49 point, oh,
If you want to just pause, yeah.
all right, so go back. All right, so I'll go back to my previous point. So in December of 2024, the board authorized BOE to execute a memorandum of agreement between BOE, Los Angeles Department of Water and Power, and the Department of Recreation and Parks, in which 49.055 million of funding was authorized for the Bureau of Engineering to provide implementation services for 7 of the 9 stormwater capture parks projects. Originally, the program consisted of 9 project sites, which are all located at the Rec and Parks facilities. However, due to insufficient funding secured for North Hollywood Park and Alexandria Park, these 2 projects were not part of the implementation MOA. And then there's the general project scope of the 7 projects. They include the installation of stormwater diversion and capture structures to divert and infiltrate stormwater at various city parks to increase groundwater infiltration and replenishment of the San Fernando groundwater basin. Each project will also include the restoration of impacted park components and new park improvements. Some of the park improvements would be replacement of existing conditions in kind, new irrigation, sports lighting, baseball fields, soccer fields, educational signage, landscape restoration, and restoration of parking lots. The schedule and status of the program is the designs of the 7 projects are substantially complete and ready to proceed to the implementation phase, which includes bid and award, construction, and post-construction activities. We are anticipating awarding all 7 projects through this board this fiscal year. The reason for this task orders revision and increase in budget authority is to add the implementation services to the contract per the implementation MOA that was approved by this board back in December of 2024. The budget increase also includes additional contingency for design services. The contingency for design services has been mostly expended due to schedule extensions, permit fees, and design changes requested by permitting agencies. So therefore, BOE is requesting authority to revise the task order and increase the budget authority and contingency by $10,792,349 from $13,026,558 to $23,818,907. Funding for this task order revision is provided by the 19.1 million included in the design memorandum of agreement with LADWP and by the 49.55 million included in the implementation memorandum of agreement between BOE, DWP, and Recreation and Parks. DWP has been briefed and is supportive of this request. Regarding the business inclusion program, throughout this contract, all 3 consultants have complied with the business inclusion program and the city's anticipated participation levels. We do have a couple of shortfalls Tetra Tech is a bit low on the minority business enterprise and the disabled veterans business enterprise. However, they will look for opportunities to increase these levels. Similarly, CDN Smith is a tad low on the disabled veteran business enterprise, but likewise, they will look for additional opportunities to increase this percentage. And then lastly, funding for construction. The combined Class A construction cost estimate for the 7 projects is $248,645,000. And the funding will be provided by LADWP, leveraging funds from various grants that they've obtained to date. And that concludes my report. I'll take any questions.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, any questions or comments related to this item? Commissioner Cardenas?
Yes, thank you for that. Just a question on, this is all capital work. What happens after the projects are completed, and how does the maintenance of these? Do it again? So sorry for that. So anyway, asking about the maintenance of these of this equipment after they're installed and completed, is that under GSD's jurisdiction, or who handles the maintenance?
No, that's something that the Department of Water and Power is currently working with to find other parties to maintain the underground infrastructure of the projects. So before these projects go into post-construction, after they've been completed, there will be a maintenance MOA that DWP is working to obtain with other parties that may maintain the underground infrastructure. For the above ground landscape, it's already also with Rec and Parks. They'll do the maintenance of the parks and the above ground or the landscape of the parks, and that also will be included in the maintenance MOA that DWP is currently working on.
Okay, just curious, because we spend all this money doing this, and if it doesn't get maintained, it's pretty much worthless. So I'm glad to hear that we're thinking about that.
Yes.
Thank you.
And then I know that the designs of these projects are almost complete, and we're ready to proceed with our next phase. Do you have a anticipated time frame of when that would occur?
Yeah, so far, one of the projects, David M. Gonzalez, is already in the bid and award phase. We actually have scheduled job walk and pre-bid meetings for next week. The other 7, so the other 7 projects, I think the bid and award phase, it'll start next month. We have Stratton Park North for Angeles starting the bid and award phase next month, and then Valley. So they're all within the next 2 months. They'll all start the bid and award phase. All 7 projects. I think the latest we're anticipating awarding is by March 2026. The last 3 projects will be awarded.
Okay, Commissioner Cardenas.
Yeah, can you? I understand you don't have those at your handy right now. Can you send us copies of those bid and award schedules?
We have one for David M. Gonzalez.
No, for all the projects. What
Yeah.
the plan is?
Yeah. Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Eduardo, if you could kindly send that to me, and I'll distribute it to all commissioners.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, is there a first and a second?
First.
First by Commissioner Cardenas, seconded by President Pro Tem Grant.
Very well. We'll go ahead and take a roll call vote on approval of item 3, starting with you, President Kang.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell. And Commissioner Cardenas.
Aye.
All ayes, and item 3 is adopted and will move forward forthwith.
Thank you very much. Moving on to item number 4 for Council District 6, Capital Improvement Project 8674.
Good morning. Ibrahim Fiz with the Bureau of Engineering, Environmental Engineering Division. I'm one of the project managers there. I'll be presenting on the board report for CIP 8674, the DCTWRP, or Donald C. Tillman Water Reclamation Plant. Preliminary treatment odor control system upgrades. This project is located in Council District 6, and the purpose of this board report is to authorize an additional $250,000 for an additional funding to complete the construction of the odor control system that was experiencing issues due to unforeseen underground conditions and resulting delays. So the board action that's requested is a budget increase of not to exceed $250,000 under the Cisco Services Contract, otherwise known as Cisco. So a little background about the project. The original project scope was approved in April of 2022 for $2,484,000 to install a carbon-activated system to treat foul air from the headworks and primary treatment facilities, which are the first line of treatment for the wastewater treatment process. The system functions with 5 3,000 horsepower blowers drawing foul air through a biotrickling filter, or a BTF, for odor control, and then the water is sent over to aeration. Is sent over to air for aeration purposes. The issue that was identified originally was that the biotrickling filter was introducing excess moisture that corroded the blower components, and that resulted in frequent and costly maintenance, operational disruptions, and a need for a new system to remove the moisture from the air was needed before it could enter into the airstream to the blowers. So the proposed improvements was to install 3 carbon-activated units, and then ancillary concrete pads, ductwork, dampers, steel supports, as well as multiple different instrumentation to track and monitor the airflow. The goal essentially was to prevent further corrosion, reduce maintenance, and improve the reliability of the entire system. Unfortunately, there were multiple design revisions that were needed during construction that resulted in significant schedule delays, mostly due to underground utilities and underground duct banks that were just not seen in the as-built drawings. A lot of the plant construction, sometimes the record drawings that we have are from the 1970s or 1980s. I think these record drawings from the 1980s, and so sometimes they're either not able to be found or they just may not be accurate over the last 30, 40 years. And so that caused an issue during construction. And so we had to go back and revise the designing of the foundation for the system. First, we had a mat foundation, which was just kind of a slab, and then we had to go to variable depth footings. And all of these revisions required us to go back to building and safety, go through a whole process to make sure that the footing design was adequate based on the soil conditions. This increased the labor and equipment costs with the contractor, as well as extended the project timeline. Overall, to wrap up the project, most construction is actually complete. This is just to wrap up any of the soft costs that were incurred during the project delays. We've are requesting a $250,000 increase, so the total budget will be, I believe, $2,734,000, which includes a $250,000 increase that we're requesting. So just to summarize, today we are looking to increase the budget by $250,000 to cover the unforeseen construction complications and ensure the successful wrapping up of the construction phase of the DCT odor control system upgrade project. And construction phase meaning basically to wrap up the work order and project, not necessarily the physical construction. So that completes my presentation. I'll open the floor up to any questions that anyone might have.
Thank you. Commissioners, any questions or comments? Commissioner Cardenas.
2 questions. You mentioned there was a moisture problem. How did we rectify that moisture problem?
Through the carbon activated units that we're installing. So essentially they're going to strip the air from moisture before it gets to the blowers.
Okay.
Yeah. And this was mostly an issue because we were starting to see more maintenance and more
deterioration on the equipment.
Then that was typical. And when we had the vendor come out and we tried to troubleshoot the system, that's when we started to see, hey, this might be an actual problem. We did some testing to realize that this was the actual problem and confirmed it, and then designed something to make sure that we can fix it for the long term.
So we're no longer seeing the moisture problem affecting the equipment?
So far, so good. I I want to preface that by saying that that's a little early to tell. But all the tests that we're doing so far indicate that we're in good shape. Most likely, it'll probably take another year for us to make sure we can confirm that there is no degradation of the equipment. But all of our calculations, all the engineering, and all of the testing that we've done indicate that we've now resolved the issue that was causing the moisture problems.
Okay. My second question, what type of air monitoring system is in place so we can verify that the air quality is not affecting the surrounding neighborhood? For example, at Hyperion, we have the fence line monitoring over there to make sure that, we have our levels are stable and under whatever.
Like parts per million.
Yeah, parts per million.
Yeah,
What type of system do we have there at Tillman?
That I'm not. I would have to follow up on. Typically, Hyperion is registered as a different type of facility when it
Understood.
comes to a quality management district. So the DCT plant is categorized as something separately. So I'm not sure if we have that level of scrutiny and monitoring that's needed. But typically, from what my understanding is, that we don't have those types of complaints, particularly given the type of treatment processes that are going on. Hyperion has a lot of solids treatments, and that can be very smelly. All of the solids treatment that's at DCT is conveyed to Hyperion. So typically, those types of smelly operations, we just hand over to Hyperion.
Yeah, but we're talking about an odor control system that we have, correct?
Correct.
So we're not monitoring what we're outputting?
Yeah, that I'll have to follow up on the specifics of the monitoring to make sure that we're reaching certain thresholds. I don't have with me currently.
Well, could you send that to us?
Yes, absolutely. I'll send it over to TJ.
All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. Vice President Chavez.
Yeah, just curious, given I'm just curious, in comparison to Hyperion, the odor control mechanisms, are they similar? Because I know Hyperion, given that it's next to the ocean, also there's a lot of moisture in the air there as well. I'm just curious if those systems are similar, or if not, then what's the difference?
The Hyperion also has a biotrickling filter, but a lot of times these are closed systems that aren't introduced to the atmosphere. So what we were seeing is that inside the piping infrastructure and everything that we have that's drawing in intake air from the primary treatment systems at DCT, that was introducing moisture from the tanks that actually are conveying the water. So at Hyperion, we have a lot. The biotrickling filter is much larger, and the types of fans, the design is slightly different. So we haven't seen a similar problem like that. But I think scaled down, we were having just proportionally there was a lot more moisture affecting the fans and the blowers that caused the issue in this project. But as far as the mechanism and the engineering behind the treatment process, it's very similar when it comes to biotrickling filters.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, is there first and a second?
So move.
Second.
First by President Pro Tem Grant, seconded by Commissioner Cardenas.
Very well. We will go ahead and take a roll call vote on approval of item 4, starting with you, President Kang.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell. And Commissioner Cardenas.
Aye.
All ayes, and item 4 is adopted and will move forward forthwith.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Moving on to item number 5 in Council District 13, above ground variance facilities at 2321 West Breer Avenue.
Good morning, President, Vice President, and Commissioners. My name is Tao Yang, and I'm representing BOE Central District. The item before you is a request for variance on volume and height for an AGF site that is located in the Silver Lakes area in Council District 13. The applicant is Network Connex, who represent T-Mobile. They are proposing to upgrade their facilities to provide better services to the area. There's an existing cabinet within a cage at the site that is 6 feet tall and approximately 185 cubic feet in volume. There's also a separate small box next to it, and this existing site was built pre-AGF ordinance in 2003. T-Mobile is proposing to replace it with 2 new cabinets inside a new cage with the same height and 216 cubic feet in volume, which accounts for about a 17% increase. The concrete pad will need to be extended to accommodate the larger footprint, and the smaller box will be eliminated. Because the height is above the 5 foot and 6 inch limit and the volume being over 36 cubic feet, a volume and height variance is needed. Cultural Affairs Commission has approved the design, and notifications with appeal instructions were sent to the surrounding neighbors, neighborhood council, and CD13. We did not receive any appeals or comments from any of the above entities. And that concludes my report, and I'll answer any questions.
Thank you very much. I know we have a comment from Commissioner Cardenas.
Yes. Any comments from CD13 from their office?
We did not receive any.
Pro or con? Nothing?
Nothing on this one.
All right. Thank you.
I have a question about maintenance. I know before and after picture, before there was a graffiti on there. Is there a time frame that we stipulate in terms of how quickly they need to fix these issues?
Yes.
We'll wait for that.
Yes, President. To answer your questions, we do have the written commitment from the applicant here, and they are stating that they're committed to restore any graffitis within 48 hours of any reportings, and they did provide a toll-free number. And our bureau, my group, myself, it will also commit to making sure that is done if we receive any reports or complaints. The cabinet is also painted with anti-graffiti paint, and they will also inspect it 4 times annually on their own.
Thank you very much. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, is there a first and a second?
So moved.
Second.
First by Commissioner Cardenas, seconded by Vice President Chavez.
Thank you, President Kang. We'll go ahead and take a roll call vote on approval of item 5, starting with you, President Kang.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell. And Commissioner Cardenas.
All right.
All ayes, and item 5 is adopted and will move forward forthwith.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Moving on to item number 6 for Council District 15, increase sole source procurement authority for project 5247.
Good morning, Ibrahim Hafiz with the Bureau of Engineering. I wanted to start off, I just noticed, Commissioner Kang, congratulations on your new name placard. I every time I would come, I would see the white face paper, so very nice.
Thank you.
Today I'll be presenting on the board report for the Terminal Island Water Reclamation Plant, primary treatment tanks improvements, for sole source procurement increases. The project number is CIP 5247. And the project is located at the Terminal Island Water Reclamation Plant, which is in Council District 15. The purpose of this board report is to authorize an increased sole source procurement budget for key equipment installed at the Terminal Island Water Reclamation Plant, primary sedimentation tanks. There's 2 board actions requested. First is to authorize the increase in sole source procurement authority for Brentwood Industries Polychem sludge and scums collection system for not to exceed amount of $2,642,000. Second, there's an authorization request to increase the sole source procurement authority for Halston Corporation's light span aluminum covers for not to exceed amount of $5,130,000. A little bit of background about this project. Terminal Island provides comprehensive treatment, preliminary through advanced water purification, as part of the project, we are replacing all of the mechanical, electrical, and instrumentation equipment for the primary treatment tanks, which is the secondary treatment process after the headworks at the plant. So we have 2 major pieces of equipment that are required for operations and just safety at the plant. First is the Polychem chain and flight system. So the existing mechanisms and mechanics were installed in 1974. They are at the end of their life. They said that last time. um,
This is not a drill.
So the existing mechanisms were installed in 1974, and they are at their end of life. The Brentwood system have already been installed in one of the tanks, tank number 5, and the upgrade will standardize operations across all of the treatment tanks that we have, which is 6 total tanks. Now we have the Halston light aluminum covers. The original covers that are over the treatment tanks have deteriorated, and they present odor control and safety concerns. The new covers will improve odor control, have a higher level of corrosion resistance and structural integrity to maintain the safety of plant personnel, especially when they're walking around a very tight area in the primary treatment facilities. So the need for the budget increase has been that since the original sole source approval in October of 2023, 2 main things have occurred. One, during the design process, we realized that there were complications with the bypass design that were needed. If we had gone into construction at that point, we would have resulted in significant cost impacts. And in an effort to have the best quality, but also the best value for the city and for the treatment plant, we went back to the drawing board and redid the bypass design, the calculations, and everything else that would be required for it, to make sure that we can avoid costly issues during construction. This obviously extended the design timeline, and then in that period, due to cost, inflations, and just uncertainty in the economics of the business that we're in, we have seen upgraded or increased costs. So just to kind of summarize that, for the Polychem sludge collection equipment, we are looking at an $884,536 increase for a total cost of $2,642,000. And then for the Halston covers, we're looking at an increase of $1,179,060 for a total cost of $5,130,000. So the reason for the sole source procurement is, one, we want to make sure that there's equipment compatibility with existing systems, but also we have prior installations at TI, Terminal Island, and so the plant staff and operations staff are very familiar with the systems, and they want to make sure that everything is standardized. So we have submitted this information to the city attorney, and they concur with the sole source justification. And so to summarize, we're looking to approve an increased sole source procurement authority for 2 critical components, the Polychem and Halston systems, for a total revised equipment cost of $7,772,000 under CIP 5247 at the Terminal Island Water Reclamation Plant. That concludes my briefing for this board report. I'll open the floor up to any questions that anyone might have.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, any questions or comments? Commissioner Cardenas.
Yeah. The lifespan you stated on the original equipment was 72, so it's over 50 years. What's the anticipated lifespan of this new equipment that we're installing?
Typically, it's about 30 years. So
we got 50 out of the last one?
We got 50 out of the last one, but 50 painful. I don't want to say that on record, but the last 20 or so years have been painful because there's a lot of maintenance, a lot of downtime. We are not able to isolate the tanks, and so that requires expensive bypass systems or unsafe conditions where we put sandbags to block the water. So it's definitely time, and I think we're trying to also design for new systems that they can stand the test of time. And even though the design life is 30 years, that they can be 50 painless years.
There you go. All right. Thank you.
Of course.
Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, is there a first and a second?
So move. Second.
First by President Pro Tem Grant, seconded by Commissioner Cardenas.
Very well. We will go ahead and take a roll call vote on approval of item 6, starting with you, President Kane.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell. And Commissioner Cardenas.
All right.
All ayes. Item 6 is adopted, and we'll move forward forthwith.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Moving on to item number 7 for all council districts, request for authority brownfields community-wide assessment grant.
Good morning. Good morning, President, Vice President, Commissioners. My name is Jordan Wootson. I'm an environmental specialist with the Citywide Brownfields Division in Los Angeles Sanitation and Environment. And today I am presenting on our board report requesting authority to negotiate, accept, and execute a grant agreement from the United States EPA Brownfields Community-Wide Assessment Grant. So some quick background, a brownfield is a site, it's like a physical piece of property, a site whose development may be complicated by the presence or potential presence of a hazardous material or contaminant. The grant we've been awarded, it's a citywide grant, meaning it's not tied specifically to any particular property, so it does give us a lot of flexibility in where we can use our grant money. It can be used on any eligible sites throughout the city. We submitted the grant application last November. We were given authority through the CAO through Council File 21-1015-S14. And lastly, the grant is a total of $500,000. There's no required cost share, so there's no overall impact to the general fund. And I'm here to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, any questions or comments? Seeing none, is there a first and a second?
So, second.
First by President Pro Tem Grant, seconded by Commissioner Cardenas. Mr. Knight has just left for the restroom, so let's give it 1 minute.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you.
I did have a follow-up question. Can you remind me the timeline in terms of this grant?
So the grant will begin in October next month, and it'll be for a period of 4 years. So from October 2025 through October 2029.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, for folks joining virtually, our acting executive officer is coming back into the room for the vote. So for item number 7, we have a first from President Pro Tem Grant and seconded by Commissioner Cardenas.
Very well. I apologize for the delay. We will go ahead and take a roll call vote on approval of item 7, starting with you, President Kane.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell. And Commissioner Cardenas.
Aye.
All ayes, and item 7 is adopted, referred to Mayor and Council forthwith.
Thank you very much. And moving on to item number 8, authority to execute amendment number 4 to the second memorandum of understanding.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Naisha Lewis, and I am a Senior Management Analyst 2 with LA Sanitation and Environment, and I serve as the Project Manager for the MOU between the City of LA, LA San, and Discovery Cube LA, which we refer to as DCLA. DCLA is a nonprofit organization that operates an interactive museum space that focuses its work around the core initiatives of environmental stewardship, science, technology, engineering, and math education, early learning, and healthy living. DCLA was originally developed as a joint public and private project. The original development was funded by the City of LA and state Prop K grant funds. In order to protect the significant investment in public and private funds, the city and DCLA have worked to develop an operational budget that ensures the facility's sustainability. LA San and DCLA have partnered on projects based on the mutual interest of supporting LA San's public outreach programs to local students by promoting environmental awareness and stewardship. This includes sanitation-themed exhibits, simulated grocery store, trash sorting games, and a video exhibit of the water reclamation process. Funding for each year for this MOU is a part of the city's budget process in which the CAO and the mayor's office determines the amount to be allocated. This is then included in the budget deliberations and ultimately approved by City Council. In order to utilize the 1.8 million in additional funding that was allocated for this fiscal year, we needed to implement a fourth amendment to the second MOU. And that will revise the funding from 7.2 million to 9 million, which was allocated in this year's budget. The funding for this MOU is split between the general fund, where 50% of it comes from the general fund, and then 450,000 comes from our solid waste resources fund, and 450,000 comes from our sewer operations and maintenance fund. This partnership with DCLA allows LA San to expand its public outreach and expand awareness of LA San's programs and initiatives to protect the public health and the environment. Each year, LA San, along with DCLA, mutually agree upon task directives as identified to determine the scope of the work for each year. Previous task directives have included a collaborative community outreach, which is STEM workshop demonstrations, Discovery Cube assemblies, field trips, curriculum-aligned educational material, attendance at community events, school fairs, Discovery Cube LA Days at the Cube, which is the first Tuesday of every month, where City of LA residents can receive up to 4 free admission tickets, 2 adults and 2 children per household at DCLA. Additionally, this year we have been in discussions about expanding the LAUSD school field trips that sanitation sponsors. Originally, we sponsor field trips for Council Districts 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. And this year, we've also agreed with DCLA to incorporate 6 schools from CD1. And we'll see about expanding that in the future. And then also, we do advertisement and outreach and coordination services for LA San's core community events, which include Earth Day LA and the open houses at the LA San collection yards. And then we also have the Core Cube sponsorship and exhibits that LA San funds each year. And with that, that is an overview, and I'm here to answer any questions you may have in regards to the MOU.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, any questions or comments? Commissioner Cardenas.
Yes, thank you. Just curious, what's the annual number of students that go through Discovery Cube? What's your capacity, and are we reaching that capacity?
So Discovery Cube handles its own operations. I can give you the numbers that they provide, and then I can let you know how many students were provided field trips through our specific MOU, but they have their own operations. And so from last year, what they reported was, oh my goodness, it was I'm sorry, I didn't print. Oh, here we go. I'm sorry. Last year, they had a total of 179,699 visitors to their facility. And then from that, from our field trip contract, there were a little over 14,000 students that were able to participate in field trips.
So we're going to increase it with the CD1
Yes.
schools?
Yes.
Thank you.
And can you tell us how that works with the schools? Does the schools need to initiate that contact, or do we proactively contact the school, and how would that arrangement be made?
So DCLA actually contacts the schools, and the way that it's written is that it has to be a Title IX school, so in the lower incomes. And so Discovery Cube identifies those schools, reaches out to them, and coordinates with their admin staff and their teachers, and then provides the field trips for those schools.
Is there also an arrangement with like youth-related nonprofits, or is it just exclusively with LAUSD schools?
So for this MOU, it's just with LAUSD, but Discovery Cube does have those relationships with other organizations and other nonprofits that also bring their students there as well.
Perfect. All right. Thank you very much. Commissioner Cardenas.
And just, it's been a while. What's the age group? What's the target age group for Discovery Cube? Is it elementary school, junior?
It starts, I want to say it's the same for us at the Environmental Learning Center, which is 2nd grade and up. And that can be all the way up to college students, professors, anyone who else wants to come.
But the primary demographic
It's
is elementary.
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Yes.
Thank you.
And for those of you who haven't gone, it's a very fun space, not for little ones, but for the whole family.
Yes.
And I tell folks it's a hidden gem in Council District 7 near the Hanson Dam with very easy parking, which is helpful.
Yes.
So I know a lot of people want to go to the Discovery Cube in Orange County, but I tell people, hey, come out to CD7. So I'm very much in support. Seeing no other questions or comments, is there a first and a second?
So moved.
Second.
First by Commissioner Cardenas and seconded by President Pro Tem Grant.
Thank you, President Kang. We'll go ahead and take a roll call vote on approval of item 8, starting with you, President Kang.
Aye.
Vice President Chavez.
Aye.
President Pro Tem Grant.
Aye.
Commissioner Mitchell. And Commissioner Cardenas.
All right.
All ayes, and item 8 is adopted and will be referred to the mayor forthwith.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Knight. Does that conclude our desk for today?
Yes, it does, President Kang.
Thank you. Our next meeting will be on Wednesday, September 10th, 2025. The regular meeting is adjourned at 11:04, but we will be having our Bureau Heads meeting at 11:30. Thank you.